This is Off Track.
Oh, where's the other guy? Where's the other guy at?
We don't know. He's no, I do know. I think he's on a flight. Is he flying to Phoenix today or tomorrow? I don't know.
You know, it's funny. You both share locations with me, so just give me a second. I'll tell you.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. We do these Tuesday shows, Graham, where we usually have guests on, and it's like lucky dip. Sometimes we're both here. Sometimes it's me. Sometimes it's him.
No doubt.
It's coordinating calendars with multiple people. It's not easy.
I don't know how you would, man. There's no way in hell you would with me. I know that.
Well, it's because you're the busiest guy in motorsports.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm just saying, like, it moves and shakes every single freaking day. But and that's what it is. So,
I mean, so you're in California right now, right?
Yeah.
So are you like, how often are you guys off season in California, or are you still back to Indy a bit?
She is. You know, I try to be an Indy, dude. I love Indy. Like I do, you know, I'm a Midwest kid, right? So for me, I'd rather be there. This place out here is just, dude, I don't know. It's so expensive out here, brother. Anyway, now I'm going down a tangent. I don't need to go down. So let's.
No, but it's so like how do you? Because obviously you've got GRP, right? Which is. I mean, look, for people listening that maybe don't know, Tim, you're muted, which is how we prefer you. But if you wanted to actually get a point in here.
Have we introduced who we're talking to yet?
Yeah, we're talking. Well, obviously we're talking to Graham Rahal. Everybody knows that. We're going to do an intro later. It's fine. But so, I mean,
not everybody, because I was filling out an IMSA license today and I got to submit a resume to be accepted.
Oh, dude, isn't that brutal?
Apparently. I was like, what?
Explain to people that don't know what GRP. I mean, I think it's a cool story of what it started as and now what it is, what it has become and grown into.
Oh, man. So, yeah, when I started it, I really had, you know, sort of low expectations of what this would be. I thought it'd be fun to have a business that modified cars, that sold some cars, that serviced some cars, that sold wheels, that whatever, these sorts of things. I had lofty goals of where I wanted to become, but I never thought it would become 80 plus employees across the brands. I'm not going to say the revenue numbers that we do, but 9 figures, well into the 9 figures every year. Like, dude, I never thought any of that. I thought, you know, if we could sell a car or two here, we could get Alex Rossi's, you know, Audi A8 or S8 he gave us. We could do some downpipes, so we could do a tune and whatever. Yeah. That was great. But, you know, now I look and it's like, I mean, it's just massive. It's massive. And there's goods and bads to that. You know, we sell cars. We're the nation's, I'm going to say it, we're the nation's largest specialty retailer. We'll do probably 600 plus units, specialty units this year.
And that's insane. I see what you post on Instagram. Like every week you've got 20 new, like high end supercars or, you know, like luxury sports cars coming through that place. Like it's incredible.
last month we sold 70 units, which was our all time record.
That's a big number for like a Honda dealership on the corner, you know, and you're dealing in like, I mean, what's the cheapest car you've sold? It's still in the 6 figures.
The other day I called a friend of mine who's got a Ferrari dealership. And I was like, hey, let's talk financials for a minute. What do you do annually revenue? And he gave me his number. And I mean, dude, I'm like 3.5 times bigger. And I was like, damn, that is awesome. Like
We're doing all right.
Like I never thought any of that. But I love it. Like, honestly, James, you know, you've known me my whole life. Like I've always loved cars and motorcycles. Like it's in me. I mean, I've loved it. Now, the problem is with racing, it's very hard to balance all of it.
And that's one of the things I want to talk about, right? Like, I know how hard it is to be a full-time IndyCar driver. And I am seeing by being friends with you and being in your orbit and knowing a little bit about business, how hard it is to grow a company to 9 figures revenue and 80 employees.
But I genuinely, and I'm not proud to say this at all, but I have an addiction to work. Other people have addictions to various things. I have an addiction to work. I don't ever like to sit static. I can't sit at Christmas Day and not think about trying to sell a car. I can't do it. I'm not wired that way. And I don't,
always been that
like
way?
I said, I'm not proud of that. I wish for my kids, for my wife more than my kids. Cause my kids, if anything, they get more of my attention, but I wish I didn't have that characteristic. But, to me, I love a challenge and I love figuring it out. It's just like the IndyCar team. Like, okay, we've been struggling with X, Y, or Z thing. Like, how do we get better? Who can we go find? What's the right piece to the puzzle here? I feel like those are areas that I just enjoy that aspect of it. I also really enjoy people. I enjoy relationships. I value relationships more than anything else. And in my business, that's a positive because everybody wants the relationship. They want to go to a dealership that they can trust, that they know they're going to get a good car. They know they're not going to be taken advantage of. I mean, dude, I deal with some of the richest people in the world. That's a reality. These guys get smoked by people left, right, and center.
Yeah, for sure.
They don't want that. Like, they know that people know that, but you need to have the integrity within you to not be that guy. And that's the way I think we are. And I enjoy that relationship to be able to, talk to those people and do deals with royal families and do deals with it's a wild thing to think about. Cause dude, 5 years ago, I would have never said that,
Yeah.
But it's also really cool for me because it's been good for racing. And I don't think fans realize that. And if I get a lot of hate for, oh, you're not focused on racing. A lot of our sponsors I met through GRP.
Interesting.
There's several that started as clients of GRP, and they'd send an email and I'd read their signature at the bottom. Like,
right. What company is that?
Well,
head on Google, switch over to LinkedIn. Yeah.
So that's been a really good thing for us. Man, I just love it though. I love the power sports side. I love, Ducati. I've always been a freak about. People know that. So, for me, it's fun and it's the future. I mean, I'm not going to race much longer. It's just the reality. So for me, this is the future. Like, this is what I'm working on developing. Yeah.
Graham, do you have a number of years? Do you know how many? Not that you have to share it. Like when you go to bed at night, do you know how many you think you got left in you?
I mean, I think I'll do a couple more. Do I go beyond that is honestly really depending on my life, with my kids. And also, to be real clear, it's depending on my body. I mean, dude, I'm on the foam roller every freaking night. I'm on, even if I don't work out, I'm on, because my body just aches. My back is destroyed. I look at my dad and all the surgeries he's had over the last 8 years. And I'm like, dude, like, I'm going to need him anyway. I mean, it's going to happen, but it's like, man, I don't think I really want to become, crippled by racing.
Make it any worse.
Yeah. So for me,
I don't want to sway your decision one way or the other, but my back's completely and I don't work out. So, that can just happen.
Yeah, it can. You're right.
Most of my injuries are sleep related.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Nice. Good effort. What the hell are you doing in your sleep, man?
Apparently a lot. Cause I'll just wake up and be like, oh, okay, I'm in pain.
You got some thrilling dreams or something, huh? But no, we'll see, brother. I mean, but that in my head, a couple more years and I think I'll be at peace to move on. I mean, it is what it is. I've been doing this a long time. I don't know. I don't know any other way, frankly, but I'm not going to go away. Like, dude, I love racing and I love IndyCar racing particularly.
So that's
for me. I'll be totally engaged. There's no doubt.
And that's the kind of obvious next question is when you stop the driving side, is there sort of a natural progression, a natural succession plan that you kind of move into a bigger management role within the team? I know you're already very involved in a lot of that stuff, but are you going to come to races with an RLL polo on and
I'll
stand on the timing stand and be part of it?
I'll be there. There's no doubt. I'll be there. I'll be there. I mean, I love it. I love it. I love the competitiveness that it gives me. I've changed in the sense that I love seeing young guys do well. You used to just want to beat the, out of all of them. But now for me, it's like, I still do, but I love seeing Louis do well. I love to try to kind of give him what input I can to help him in his career. And I enjoyed that with Christian. And I hope that I can have an influence on people's careers. I remember coming up when you and I were coming up, and a lot of people would go to my dad to ask advice, a lot. Yeah. And I always admired that about him, that people respected him enough to be like, hey, Mr. Rahal, what do you think about this or this or this? And I love that. Even if they weren't in IndyCar, I mean, there were guys in NASCAR that would come ask too. And so, I enjoy that. I love to have that ability to help young people. And for me, I'd love to be engaged in the team in every regard that we can. And I am right now a little bit. I think people think I'm more involved than I am. I'm involved when I feel like something's really obviously wrong. Mm-hmm. There's been people that I've worked with in the past. Some you've worked with. We won't name names, but it'll be pretty obvious that, we're a train wreck from day one, and I knew it and I could see it. I'd asked you your opinion and yours was the same. And so, I was very vocal about certain things, but to me in general though, like with Jay Fry, dude, that guy's the man. Like he really is. I'm not just saying it. Like he's got a good finger on the pulse of what needs to happen. Jay Fry doesn't need to hear from me every day. I mean, he just doesn't. Just let him do what he needs to do, and we'll go from there.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, because obviously Jay came on start of this season, right? And was a quick and good get for you guys after he stepped down from the IndyCar side. And you've now had some other major hires at RLL that were just announced this week with Brian Barnhart, Kyle Sagan. Yeah. It really seems like the team has kind of shifted into a new gear, to use a cheesy car pun, and is looking at 26 as a really big opportunity. Kind of tell us about, some of those new people and what the goals are for next year.
Well, we felt that Barnhart, Dad and I have always had a close relationship with Brian. I've had a lot of respect for Brian. I mean, even when he was race control and race director, people used to give Brian, but honestly, I liked what he did. I wish we had that consistency, honestly. And that's a job that you're just going to get a lot of hate. But, I liked that. I liked when he was there. I feel that he brings a level of professionalism to us, of organization to us, of strategy. He's a damn good strategist. And we've got a lot of young guys that are going to be, but they don't have the experience yet. And I think Brian Barnhart can really help take us to the next level. Kyle Sagan, I think, is going to be a great addition. Kyle's been with us before when we won a lot of those races in 2015, 16, I think even into 17, Sagan was with us. He's going to help us with our pit stops. Our pit stops have made a drastic change. I mean, they've been a lot better. Our guys did a great job last year. I think they're going to continue to get better. But it's an area that we take very seriously. And it's an area that Arrow McLaren was quite good. So I feel like it's good for us. They took our guy, Ryan Harbour, last year.
Right.
Harbs was my boy. I was with Harbs since 2008. So it really pissed me off when he left. But, at the end of the day, you never say never to him coming back. I mean, I love the guy, and I'd love to have him with us and strengthen in performance at our team. But Sagan's good, and we've got some more guys coming on board that I think are going to be great. I hired an engineer that's really just going to be dedicated. Their job is going to be dedicated to our short oval package, which is our Achilles heel. But next year, there's a lot of short ovals. I mean, a lot. So we got to get better. Phoenix and Gateway, and obviously Nashville and Milwaukee. So we've got to get better in that regard. So we've done that. So I'm pumped, man, and I think we got a lot of work ahead of us, but the team is definitely headed, down the right path. Obviously, we got to figure out car number 3, who it's going to be, what's going to happen, how's it coming together, and try to get that done as well.
Graham, it's like we have a script about where I want to go with these things, because you just beautifully lead me there. Car number 3, you guys obviously made some headlines with Mick Schumacher doing that test. I mean, first off, just tell me how, from your seat. I mean, I assume you might not have been there, but you've got you've got getting all the feedback on it. How'd the test go? And what kind of likelihood are we looking at with Mick maybe being in the series full time?
I mean, I think this is what I'll say. Test went well. Professionalism to a very, very high standard, as expected, frankly.
Yeah.
What I got out of it from all the staff that was there, from all the team members, was what a humble, down-to-earth human being Mick was. And his mother was apparently amazing to everybody. I don't know if you talked to Kathy, but Kathy was over the moon about. And dude, when we came up on a worldwide scale, it was Michael Schumacher, Michael Jordan, and maybe Tiger Woods. That was it, right? Like now, because of social media, there's a lot more names and things. But at that time, that was it. And yet, here's the lady that lived to the highest of highs, and unfortunately, some pretty low times, that comes in, couldn't have been nicer to our people, couldn't have been more humble, couldn't have been more caring, engaged. I mean, I was shocked that his mom came to an IndyCar test. I'm like, what? Like, I mean, I get if it's the first time you've driven a Formula One car or something, but like, I mean, it's not the Indy 500 yet, sort of thing.
Right.
She was there. You know, I would love to see Mick. I'd love to see it happen. You know, and I think like that's ultimately the goal, but there's a lot of moving, you know, pieces that go into this, but,
for sure. Was his interest level high, do you think? Like, did he seem like he was down for it? Cause you do hear a lot of drivers from Europe. So they kind of touch around the oval thing, right? But
no, he
seemed all in.
He's not. I don't think that's a problem. I mean, I get what his Uncle Ralph wants to make everybody think, but I don't gather that's a super tight relationship anyway.
Right.
But to me, you know, I think he's all in. What I got out of it was the Max Verstappen sort of thing. Like what I got out of it is the kid's a racer and he wants to go race. And there's a lot of politics in Formula One. And if you're dealing with the politics and you're tired of it and your last name's Schumacher, imagine what it is for everybody else. Right.
Yeah.
And so to me, I just got out of Mick that he, you know, and again, I've talked to him on the phone a couple times. I can't say that we're best buddies or anything, but what I'm saying is I took out of it that Mick Schumacher's a racer and he wants to go to a series that he can drive a damn car, that he can have some fun, that he can make a new name for himself and he can have an opportunity to win. And in IndyCar racing, as we know, that's a possibility for anybody. Yep. So to me, I think it'd be a great fit for him and you know, fingers crossed, you know, we can make something happen.
Yeah, it'd be great to see. I mean, I was glad to hear the enthusiasm from their camp, and it wasn't just like, you know, like we had Nico Hulkenberg come over and do a test when he was doing his sabbatical. He did one day in the car. I was like, nah, not doing that. You know, like some people, it's just not their thing, but it's cool to see that he kind of has that enthusiasm for it. You know, you kind of mentioned how you enjoy dealing with the younger drivers now. I get it. And I'm in that same old man phase of motorsports that you are. Sorry, pal. I know you're younger than me, but you're getting there.
We're aging.
We're getting there. So, I mean, you mentioned Louis. Talk to me about his year. I mean, what did you guys think internally? I mean, I think he turned a lot of heads. He impressed a lot of people on the outside, but what's it like working with him and what do you guys see on the inside?
I mean, I love the kid. You know, I think that first off, I'm going to say this. When he first came into the team, I was kind of like, this kid thinks it doesn't stink, man.
He had an air to him. Yeah.
I was just like, Jesus Christ, another one of these guys. And dude, he changed so fast. Like he's extremely mature, great family, hilarious. I mean, he and I get along really, really well on a personal side of things. I just feel like Louis has a really bright future. He doesn't sugarcoat things. You know, I've had so many teammates in the past, we'd be in practice and they're like, when it comes time to qualify, I've got another 4/10 in the bag. And I'm like, no, the F you don't.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
Stop. Okay. Stop. Well, Louis is not that way. Like if he really says, yeah, man, I think I've got like a 10th, maybe 2, but he'll come in sometimes and go, I got no more. Like that was it. That was it. And I respect that out of him because as a senior guy, as you know, like the reality is the reality. Like, can you do it or not? Like if you can do it, I get if you're held up with traffic or you go through a yellow sector, whatever. But the reality is you're going to know, and you're probably going to show pretty damn close to what you're capable of. Right. And what I liked about Louis was he was honest about all that, man. He was straight to the point. He was easy. And, I respect the hell out of him for that. And, you know, to me, I got a lot of time in the day for Louis. And I think he's going to be a star. He's brave. He's good on the ovals, but he's not stupid. Well, Sometimes he's a little stupid, but that's his problem.
That's just a rookie thing, right? He'll get over
that's
that.
A young kid.
Once he hits some, then he'll learn.
But no, man, I loved working with him. And it's great because, with Drop Light and everything that they've done with Desnuda and all the sponsors, like they're there for a long time now. So for us, that's really good stability. And I think you'll see, that Louis will be a big part of that.
Dude, you've been part of the sport for a long time, and you have seen it through a lot of different phases, a lot of different changes. Obviously you were on the Champ Car side of things originally. You were part of the merge when that happened. You've now been through a new car, several iterations of that car, et cetera, manufacturers coming in, going, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Where do you see IndyCar sitting right now? How are we doing? And, what do you think the next 3 to 5 can look like based on everything that you know?
IndyCar is in a good, stable spot. IndyCar needs a kick in the ass when it comes to marketing. And I think that's going to happen now. I think with Fox, that's going to happen. I don't see Shanks and I don't see Fox investing in this and everything else to watch it deteriorate. I think Fox is, critical to our movement forward. Seeing Pillow, obviously I'm a college football guy, so seeing Pillow at Big Noon Kickoff the other day, drinking milk, and they're doing a milk chugging competition at IU. Like, dude, that stuff NBC never did for us. That stuff ESPN never did for us. These are things that do move the needle. We need new events. As much as I loved Iowa, once Hy-Vee was gone, we knew it was gone. I saw a rumor about Cleveland. I'm excited about that. I thought Cleveland was a great street course, but it was also a place you could see the whole track from sitting in one stand. You and I raced there.
Yeah.
You could see everything. It was a great place to go and watch a race. Okay. Mid Ohio is great. I don't like Mid Ohio on 4th of July. I'll be on my grave on that one. I don't like it. I'm a proud American. No offense. I love racing, but I want to drink beer on the 4th of July. I'll flat out say it. I don't.
Oh, so you personally don't like racing on the 4th of July?
I don't, but the crowd has been smaller. I don't care what anybody says. The crowd was bigger when it wasn't on the 4th.
People want to be on a lake. People have plans, right? Like, unless you've been doing it for a long time.
It's not just me. It's that everybody wants to be with their family. Everybody wants to be on the lake. Everybody. You do. We all do.
Yep.
That's just the reality. So I don't like it. I think that there's things that could be different. But you hear this Washington, D.C. street race. That'd be great if they can make it happen. You hear about, Denver. That'd be great. I loved racing in Denver. You and I race in Denver. You hear about Cleveland, Ohio. Be awesome, right? There's a lot of great potential. Got to make it happen now. Got to make it happen. Because the thing that Formula One has is bucket loads of money, and God bless them, they got it. But because of that, they can be aggressive. They can spend money on a street race in Vegas that'll never see $1 return, but they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. We can't do that, but somehow we've got to find a way to be a little bit more the pedal on the right. Like, let's go forward. Let's be aggressive. Let's see what we can do to move the needle here. We have a lot of cornerstone events, the Road Americas of the world and things like that, that I think are just solid and great. But I would like to see IndyCar over the next 5 years really get aggressive with, where we're going to go, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. Nashville needs to go back downtown when the stadium's done. The Oval is one of the better races of the year.
So this is an important conversation to have, right? Because from a television standpoint, right, for everyone sitting at home watching the race, it's hard to argue that the Nashville Oval wasn't a better race than any of the ones we had downtown. From an event standpoint, sure, it's hard to beat any race that's in a downtown. What's more important, Graham? Is it more important having an event that a lot of people show up to because it's a big, it's a thing that's happening downtown in a city, whatever, or for the million, hopefully soon to be 2 million people every week watching at home, do you want to put on a banger of a wheel-to-wheel action racing?
I think if I'm at home and I see nobody in the grandstands,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't draw me. I'm like, must be a series.
It doesn't make you want to go.
Deal.
Right? It doesn't make you want to be invested. Yeah.
Doesn't do anything for me. And the reality is, much as fans hate to hear it, everybody cries about we need more ovals, but they don't show up. So,
dude,
it's
so
like
Milwaukee's the exception because when Milwaukee came back on the schedule, when it came back on the schedule, Alex and I were on this show and we went on a rant. We were like, guys, we've been through this. Everybody complained about no Milwaukee. Michael Andretti brought the race back and nobody showed up. So I don't want to hear anybody talk to me about coming to Milwaukee or wanting Milwaukee back on the calendar unless you're going to put your money where your mouth is and buy a ticket. And last year we went back, it was like, oh, damn, everybody showed up. That was actually pretty impressive.
Okay, so now take Milwaukee, add in a concert on Saturday night, add in something. Now, Milwaukee, what I thought was, the Sunday crowd in Milwaukee was good, but bro, the Saturday crowd was good.
Yeah, it was great.
For qualifying, there was actually quite a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Or Friday, whatever. Whatever. That's my point. It was actually like, damn, this is pretty cool. Okay. I thought that was a really good, positive sign. But dude, it's not just us that fights it. You know?
For sure.
I mean, let's be real. There's a lot of NASCAR races. There ain't for people in the stands.
Yeah. Well, because there's too many of them. There's flat out too many.
For sure. But I'm still saying like, it's a problem. For me, I think you need to have really marquee events. I think Formula One's the example of that. You could watch 95.8% of a Formula One races and you could fall asleep between lap 2 and the second to last lap. And you miss nothing. That's not me being hard. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but my point is people are like, oh, Formula One's on today. It's going to look really cool on the grid. Like, look at all the people. Like, look at all, and they draw because of that. They draw not only people, they draw money, they draw sponsors. And ultimately for the health of the sport, we've got to have events that do that, right? People come to the Indy 500 and they're just in awe of what it is.
Blown away.
So we're not going to have another Indy 500, but can we have more Long Beaches? Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, flybys are mandatory. Okay. And it's not going to be a damn Cessna like we got at Texas a few years ago. We need to have good flybys during the national anthem. We need to have energy and enthusiasm and everything else. I'm going on a rant now, but I'm exhausted of the that's been happening lately. Okay. We need cool energy before the race. Gotta have it. I want to see an A10 Warthog come over and fire fake bullets or whatever the hell it could be. And we don't have that anymore. It's like, dude, when I remember the C-17 at Long Beach a couple years ago, thing was like just over the treetops, big ass plane. It doesn't have to be an F-35, but like, let's get some cool energy back in this thing. Cause dude, when I was a kid, that was one of the most exciting part of the races. And by the way, everybody sitting in the stands is looking around. They're like, oh, there's not one today.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like, dude,
there's an expectation, right?
This gets back to my, we got to have events, man. And that's part of an event. And so, to me as a series, we need to focus hard on those things. And if we can do that right, the series has great legs and great potential because the dollar is right. Now, my next thing, got to get more manufacturers.
Yeah.
Because that's holding us back more than anything. Honda, they've been great. They're not going anywhere. This is my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. They've always played the chicken and the egg thing. They played the game, over the 30 years Honda's been in it. But to me, Honda's loyal. They're going to keep doing it. Chevy, they've been great. I love Mark Royce. I love Jim Campbell. I love Mark Royce. I'm going to get back to Mark Royce for a second. When I look at an automotive CEO, Mark Royce is the greatest in the world because he's a gearhead. I love that. He's a racer, right? Yeah. I love that. I love that about him. And to me, we need, when we go to the Indy 500, there's a lot of teams that could run cars, but they can't. We can't get engines. We need another manufacturer to break up this monotony. We got to get it to the point that we can have 35, 36,
we're stuck at
37.
this 30. Yeah, exactly. It's 34 or 35 number. And it's like, even if 40 cars wanted to show up at some point, we're running out of motors because there's only 2 people making them.
Yeah, you can't do it. I mean, it just is what it is. So fingers crossed, man, that we see some positive days in the near future. And I think that we will. We need a little bit of kick in the butt. And I think Fox is going to give that to us. So I'm excited for what's to come.
It's funny, you kind of bring up the events thing, which I completely agree with. And we've already, if you're listening to this, we've already recorded our Thursday show. And Rossi actually touches on this point about how when you watch Formula One on TV, every event looks good. Even just things like the curbs are painted well and the banners are presented in a way that the whole thing just looks sharp. It looks like something you want to be a part of. The other big thing that I think we always talk about is how drivers have to be stars. So in your opinion, I think I completely am on board and completely agree with making the races events, and you got to make it something that people want to go to. How much of that equation for you is people wanting to go because they're cheering for driver X because we as a series have done a better job at making stars out of some of these drivers?
Well, I think, the reality is making stars of the drivers is a hard thing. I think, even let's look at NASCAR now. It's not as deep as it once was, right? As far as that, there's very few.
No one's Dale Earnhardt anymore, right? No one's even Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson. Like
if I go walk around in most places and I mention a name, they're gonna be like, "Who's that?" And that's not, again, I'm not throwing rocks in a glass house here, right? I fully understand it's the same in IndyCar. Formula One's a little different because they just struck gold with the timing and COVID, man. Like it couldn't have been better. Like,
yeah. And they changed
that changed their world. It just did. But Formula One is also a very globalized sport, and IndyCar is not really, NASCAR is not really, to be frank. So, they've been able to maximize that and build a fan base around the world, which is great. We definitely have to work on building our stars. I think if IndyCar has one fault, over the history since I started in this, they only ever highlight one or two guys. They've always been that way. They've never really tried to brushstrokes on the whole grid. Like, here, we're going to make a name out of a variety of different people. This year it was all hands on the Newgarden basket. Didn't work out great. Obviously Alex Palou, Palou's a star. Palou's a stud. He's got to be a household name. But dude, you got a lot of great young guys. I mean, Kirkwood is a player. I mean, that guy can drive, man. He's good. Obviously it sucks to lose Colton, but you got a lot of good young names. And to me,
Pato,
if I were IndyCar marketing, Pato is an anomaly. He's the biggest. He's going to be the biggest. It's like Adrian Fernandez in his day. The difference is Mexican people are extremely passionate about their people.
Yeah.
Americans aren't that way. They're just not. Right. Americans, I'm a huge Hinch fan, period. Like, Canadians are loyal to you. If it was you, me, head to head, they're never going to cheer for me. That's for sure, right? But in America, that's never really been. I mean, Tony Kanaan was the biggest star. He's Brazilian. Elio, Brazilian. It didn't have to be an American. Whereas in most other countries, remember when we go to Brazil, they were all about the Brazilians.
But is that good or bad though, Graham? Because you've got. I
think it's good. Builds energy.
Again, you've got 7 to 10, Americans in the series, and Americans have so many options in terms of American drivers. And then that even extend that into NASCAR. Every one of those, minus Daniel Suarez, is American. So it's like, it's not as much of a novelty for them. Where if you look at the global racing stage, Mexico doesn't have a ton of drivers. So they, as a country, latch onto the guys that success. Same with Canada. Same with a lot of these places. So, but you're okay that American fans will get behind an Alex Palou or a Tony Kanaan or whoever.
I personally, I wish American fans were a little more passionate about their people, about their drivers. Right. But the reality is that I've never seen it that way. I mean, even going back to when my dad raced, I don't think I ever saw it that way. I thought American fans were, much more, open to whoever that personality was that kind of energized them. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but to me, that's the way I've always viewed it, at least. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, to be honest with you. I mean, I think, it's good to have it, but it's also great to go to racetracks. Doesn't matter where we are. And Pato is a stud. Pato's a star. I mean, he just is. And we've got to keep that rolling, for sure. Fingers crossed we can do that. But yeah.
Did Fox ever come to you about being involved in some of these campaigns and stuff? So
let me clear this up for a second.
Okay.
There's all this hate lately going toward like a month ago. It's all this about, Graham was invited to do a campaign and he turned it down. No. I was invited to be like a bush trimmer in Joseph Newgarden's thing. And I said, no. Bro, when they sent me when they sent me the script, I'm like, F that.
Yeah.
You're not getting me to do that. I'm out. Like, I'm not doing that. Like,
totally fair. They don't
I
want
don't
you
care who it is.
Joseph's bushes.
Like, dude, there's something, I was like, what the hell am I, why are you even asking me to do that? Like, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So I didn't. And people are like, oh, it came out that Graham was invited and he didn't do it. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I didn't do it. It's that easy.
If you want to let them know, James, I'll do that next year.
Yeah.
We should actually get you as an extra and something there.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. Okay. Well, we've already taken too much of your time. We appreciate you chatting with us, but I just have this question because again, you've got to race for a long time. You've got to race on a lot of cool stuff. We did things like A1GP together.
Yeah.
You've raced sports car stuff. What was your favorite year in motorsports that you've had? Is it like just easy that you default to 2015 because you have the home win, you have a great championship run, or is there like a weird kind of screwball answer that people wouldn't expect?
I would say that, for me, actually, as weird as it is, this year I really enjoyed. We had a hard year.
Yeah.
But, dude, I loved my team. I loved my guys. I loved my engineering core. I had a great time. Now, we needed to be better, but I thought we really were pretty good in some places. I think for me, the years that I look back on and I'm like, man, I just wish it was like that again. Honestly, a lot of them are probably the go-kart years.
Yeah.
There was less pressure. There was less social media. There was great people like you, Robbie Pecorari, Mikey Geeson. There was a lot of great guys to compete against. I got to travel in the truck. I drove the truck, I couldn't drive at the time, but with a couple of guys, out to Pat's Acres, get my first big national event win and do a lot of cool stuff. I mean, the go-kart years were great times. And I think as you go through your career, you lose sight of that stuff. You get so carried away in all this stuff that now where I'm at, I'm back in sort of a part of my career where every time I get to sit in the car, like I truly appreciate it. It feels like a blessing. And I'm like so pumped to go racing and so pumped to get in the car and do all this stuff. There was a phase in the middle part of my career that, man, it felt like a job. Like,
felt like work. Yeah.
It was hard. It was hard. Every time the car was a handful. The team was difficult. The this, the that. And you're like, man, I remember 2014, I literally called my now wife and told her, I said, I'm not so sure this is for me. Like this is brutal. Like,
because people forget, right? Like when stuff's not going well on track, it's still, all the other stuff still exists. You still have to go do all the media stuff, all the sponsor stuff, all the stuff that even when things you're killing it on track, you don't like doing. Yeah. Or like is the other side, the necessary evil of being a driver. When everything on track's also going poorly and the culture and the team's not good or something like that, like it just, all that stuff compounds. It really does weigh on you.
Yeah. And there were some tough years there, man. And I know nobody's going to play a violin for me of all people, but there were times I was like, dude, like, I don't know about I don't know about this. And so, for me, like I said, as tough as 2025 was in many respects, I loved my guys, man. And I am really energized about going forward. I am. I think we got a lot of reason as a team to be pumped up. And we'll see, man. We're going to try to finish this next couple of years off strong. That's all I can say. I mean, I certainly don't want to leave here with only 6 wins on my resume. Not that 6 is pathetic, but for sure, for as long as I've been doing it, you want, bro, that's the thing. Yeah. You know how people are though. They're like, oh, well, you should have won 30 by now. I'm like, you realize there's a lot of people, the majority of people never win one. Do you realize that? Like, come on, dude. We're not all Alex Hello. Okay.
Right. Like, gets more in 1 year than we've had in our careers. That bastard.
Dude, really, I literally looked at him and I'm like, is this just easy? Like, is it easy? Like, is that what you think? You just think it's easy? Because I've never seen anything like that. Yeah, dude. Like, wild.
Dude, it's funny. I look back, I'll whiz on this real quick, because I look back at all the years, and it's tough to pick one for sure, but definitely one of my top three is 2004. When you and I were racing Formula BMW, we were both the smallest two teams. We were both one-car teams with a 24-foot trailer and a dually, one engineer, one mechanic, and we just kind of naturally became teammates because they stuck us at the end of the paddock together because we didn't have a proper truck. We were just like little trailer guys, and your engineer and my engineer became like best buds. Your mechanic and my mechanic became best buds. Me and you were like best buds. Racing was fun. We were 16, 17 years old. Like, it was awesome, man.
I was going to say 04 and 05. Yeah. Both great years, great years. So, man, it's, you look back now, you appreciate them, don't you?
Sure do. You sure do.
And I mean, brother, you know this, but your family means the world to us, and you're, rest in heaven, Mr. Hinchcliffe. Had a lot of love for your dad, and your mother is she is the greatest human. And I still, how our relate. Every time I see her, we light up. I mean, just great, just awesome people. And my parents always were so close with your parents and my mom and, the whole thing. So, there's a lot of love for the Hinchcliffes, and, man, a lot of years now, brother. A lot of years.
Likewise, brother. Likewise, crazy. Man. Yeah, well, hey, I appreciate you and appreciate you coming on. And hey, we're not done. We're both still here. So let's make a couple more years of memories before we walk away from this mess. All right, man. Thanks for coming out. This has been Off Track with Hinch and Rossi. Off Track is part of the SiriusXM Sports Podcast Network. If you enjoyed this episode and want to hear more, please give a 5-star rating and leave a review. Subscribe today wherever you stream your podcasts. We are at Ask Off Track on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, we're at Hinchtown and at Alexander Rossi. If you want to follow Tim, though we have no idea why you would, he's at the Tim Durham on Twitter. Find us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel for exclusive video content. Off Track is produced by Tim Durham, and by that we mean Tim.